name is Celie Hodges. I'm an intern in Raya's classroom, so I'm there full-time Monday through Friday. I've been there since school started back in January, so I've gotten to know Raya pretty well. As you know, we're here kind of to just talk about some of the data that I've gotten on her reading, and kind of what that means for you, what you can do to help her at home, and just kind of where she is grade level wise. So I want to start by saying that Raya is an awesome reader. I absolutely adore her. She's really wonderful. She's a joy to have in class. And her reading is certainly on grade level, if not slightly above. So I just wanted to kind of show you some data to back that up. So I wanted to start by showing you her fluency, and the reason that so that's how many words she's reading per minute. So we give them an on-level text, and we time them for a minute, see how many words they can get to in a minute. Grade level by the end of the year is about 70 to 75 words or so. And so I just kind of wanted to show you how Ray has been doing. So the first timing that I have is from the beginning of the quarter, from February 12th. And then we recently implemented data notebook. So every time that she does a new reading, we put it in our notebook. I ask the kids to set a goal of about 5 to 10 more words per minute. And of course, Raya sets her goal for 10 more words per minute every single time. So she's been consistently meeting, or maybe slightly under, but coming really close to that goal every single time. And the reason that this fluency timing is so important is because we need to know how quickly they are reading, how automatically the reading is coming to them. Because the more automatic it is for them to read, the more that they're able to comprehend. So the quicker that she can read, she's not having to worry so much about what the words say, and she's able to worry about what they mean. So at the beginning of the quarter, she was at 36 words per minute, which might not have been completely accurate because it was, we had just started back a little bit before. That was on February 12th. And then on February 22nd, again, she was at 43 words per minute, so 7 more, really close to that goal. And then on March 6th, a couple weeks ago, she went all the way up to 56. So I was really impressed by her scores. She really took that goal seriously, and I could tell that she was trying really hard. I gave her a couple of tries at it, and she worked really hard. So, I'm really proud of her for that. And the only thing that's really going to help with her fluency, if you wanted to work on that at home, is going to be working on her sight words. So those are those words that we talk about that are really common. They're sight words or high frequency words. So it's going to be words that break the patterns, words like said, have, give, that kind of break our normal phonics patterns, and then also words that appear a lot in text. So the more of those that she has memorized, the quicker she's able to read, the less she's having to think about what the text says, and again, she can think about what it means. So Raya was at the independent level. I have it here in the chart, as you can see. Independent level is about 95% or higher, give or take. For all the words 1 through 100, she started getting a little bit frustrated. She got to about the instructional level, almost the frustrational level, starting at list 101 through 120, and then we went ahead through 140 just because I wanted to see how she did. So if you want to help her with her fluency at home, again, in my opinion, I would say that she's for sure on track to be on, hitting that 70 to 75 words per minute by the end of probably April, if not the end of May for sure. So if you wanted to help her with that fluency at home, that's the only thing that I would say is the sight words, and I can provide you with a list of kind of the 100 through 200 lists so that she can work on those, and then once she's got those mastered, we'll hit you with a 200 through 300 list, just until she's getting a lot of those high frequency words automatically, and that will improve her fluency, which will also improve her comprehension. I wanted to talk to you about her reading test scores, which I know that you're aware of because they're put into Skyward, but I just kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit more about what our reading test looks like, and kind of what those scores mean for her as a reader. So our reading test is bi-weekly, as you see in our calendar. It consists of sight words, words with the phonics pattern for the week, not writing them as much as hearing them in a word, and then some comprehension questions. So she'll get a passage, she has to read it. We've worked a lot on being able to find text evidence, so I'll tell every kid to look for it. They'll go on a scavenger hunt, and they're looking for the key words from the question in the story, and they underline it every time so they make sure they have the answer. And of course, you don't see this portion reflected in Skyward, but Ray is excellent at that. Her paper's always marked up with in the right places where the answers are. So she's always thinking very carefully about the answers that she's choosing. And even though she really probably doesn't need it, because I know that she's understanding what she's reading. So I have that here. She's steadily getting A's and B's on her bi-weekly reading test. So as you can see here, she went from 100 on the first one on January 19th to 82, and then she's had a couple 93s on the last two spelling tests. Or sorry, not spelling tests, reading tests. So I'm really proud of her in those scores. I think that it's very reflective of who she is as a reader. That she's on grade level, she's understanding what she's reading, she's obviously practicing the sight words at home. So yeah, I have no qualms about her comprehension ability. The only thing that if you wanted to improve that and just bump it up a little bit, just give her one of the texts maybe that I've sent home, or just a simple on-level text that she can read on her own, have her read it on her own to herself, and then just ask her some basic questions like, who are the characters? What is the setting? Why did this and this event happen? How did they feel at this point in the story? And in first grade, we're still asking a lot of just basic questions that can be found in the text. Of course, when we do whole group and I'm reading a story aloud to them, we'll ask some of those deeper thinking questions. But for a story that they're reading on their own in first grade, we're still just kind of going with some surface level questions that can be found easily in the text. So feel free to allow her to look back through the text after you ask her a question. And that's really the only thing that she would need help with if you wanted to bump those reading scores up a little bit. And then I wanted to talk to you about her spelling test scores. Again, as you see those she brings home, you see them in Skyward. She's doing an excellent job with those. Excuse me. She works really hard every week. I can tell that you guys are working at home as well. I'm really proud of the spelling scores that she showed, just because they're consistent. It's 90s and 100s almost every week. So I have that here just so you can kind of see the trend that she's pretty much right across the board. 92, 101, 102, right across the board. So that just shows me that you guys are working with her at home, and I really appreciate that. It shows me the hard work that she's willing to put in and that you help her put in. If you were concerned about that 80, I think it was an 82 or so last week, I just wanted to share with you that that's not something that I'm concerned about at all. Our spelling pattern last week was I-R-E-R-U-R, and that's a tough one. I know that she can read it, which is all that I'm really worried about at this point. As long as she can tell me what they say when she sees them, and write them down occasionally, I'm not super worried about her being able to remember every single time that bird is IR and zipper is ER and her is ER and burn is UR. Like, I'm not worried so much about her being able to remember them every single time when she writes, because she can read them and she can comprehend them, and that's, the thing that I'm worried the most about is her being able to comprehend text. So the writing and the memorization of which one is IR, ER, or UR, that will come later. So I wouldn't worry at all about that 82 from last week. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk to you about was the IRI that I did with her last week. So we used the qualitative reading inventory, which is just a set of text from pre-primer up to high school. So Rhea was on the primer level, which is about first and second grade level. So definitely where I wanted to be. She was there with flying colors, definitely at really more of an independent level. She almost got to the instructional level by the end of the primers, and we had read about 5 stories at that point, so I didn't want to push her any farther. But the IRI is just, it's a set of text, a set of word lists, and then comprehension questions after every text. So the score is based on how many words she could read correctly, as well as the comprehension question that she could read correctly. And again, she was on grade level, if not above grade level for that. Some of the instructional goals that I have for her are to read at 75 words per minute by the end of April. Again, she's setting that goal for herself already. Her goal for next time is 65. So then the timing after that, which will be about the end of April, if not sooner, her goal will be 75. And I feel very confident that she can meet that goal that I've set for her and that she's set for herself. The second one is to master Fry's second 100 set of words, which are those high frequency words that we talked about. So I can send you guys home a list of the ones that I'm looking for her to memorize. And to just be automatic for her. And we also will be working on those sets of words where we're going to make sure that she's graduating to the second set of 100, and working on those with myself in small groups as well. And the last thing is, very soon I'm going to use a comprehension checklist with her, which is just going to be, it's just a list where I observe her reading to herself, on her own, and just check off the different things that she does. If she goes back and reads again when she didn't understand, if she tries multiple words when she doesn't know to see which one makes sense, if she's asking herself questions while she's reading, if she's, those kinds of things. So I'll just watch her read by herself, and then, you know, kind of go off that checklist, because to me she's getting out of the phase of she needs to be worried about phonics, and she's definitely going into a phase where she's going to be worried about vocabulary and comprehension. So I feel like she's ready to be assessed on her comprehension and in a deeper level of thinking way than we assess most of our first graders, which is with those surface level questions. So we can have another meeting after I've assessed her with the comprehension checklist, after maybe you've worked some more on comprehension at home, and I can definitely get you some more of those comprehension strategies that I'll be looking for her in the next few weeks or in the next month or so, kind of the ones that will be prepping her for second grade, and then you know, the ones that we kind of start at the end of first grade. So I'll definitely be able to get you a list of those and some ways that you can work on those at home too. And that's really all that I had. Thank you for raising such a wonderful student and for working so hard with her. It really shows in her reading at school.